The canvas is a void of absolute white. It demands something, yet offers nothing back. You stand before it, the brush feeling heavy in your grip, a wooden extension of your own hesitation. The silence in the room is thick, broken only by the steady rhythm of your breathing. You reach for the palette. Your movements are deliberate, stripped of all unnecessary motion. You dip the left corner of the flat brush into the pure white paint, then touch the right corner to the deep, vibrant pink. You hold the brush steady, keeping the two colors distinct on the bristles. Do not mix them. The contrast is the engine of your creation. You bring the brush toward the paper, the tip hovering just a fraction of an inch above. The pressure builds in your wrist. You press the brush down, feeling the bristles splay against the grain of the paper. You drag it in a smooth, sweeping arc, then lift it gently at the end. A single petal emerges, a perfect gradient, fading from dark pink to soft white. You do not pause. The rhythm takes hold. You rotate your wrist slightly, angling the brush to overlap the edge of the first petal. Press, drag, lift. The second petal mirrors the first, then the third. You maintain the pressure, keeping the bristles splayed at the same consistent angle. The fourth petal curves into place, and finally, the fifth closes the circle. A flower now sits on the canvas, its center a hollow, waiting space. You set the brush into the water jar, watching the pink clouds swirl and dissipate. You clean the bristles until they are soft and responsive again. You load the brush with two distinct shades of green, dark and light, keeping them separate as you did with the petals. You place the brush near the base of the flower. You press down, feeling the resistance of the paper, then drag the brush outward with a sharp, quick flick. A leaf emerges, pointed and firm. You repeat the motion on the opposite side, grounding the flower to its stem. The transition is complete. The abstract colors have vanished, replaced by a recognizable form. You lean back, observing the structure. Your confidence grows with the weight of the brush. You lean in, your eyes tracing the soft edges of the petals. The colors blend naturally where they meet, but you see the inconsistencies. You realize that the pressure of your hand is the only thing dictating the shape. You test the theory. You press too hard, and the brush splays into a thick, clumsy smear that ruins the line. You try again, pressing too little, and the bristles drag across the paper, leaving a faint, broken trail of color. You stop. The brush hangs in the air, trembling slightly. You hold your breath, feeling the weight of the wood against your palm. This is the threshold of control. You must find the middle ground between force and grace. You clean the brush again, watching the water turn murky. You steady your wrist, locking your elbow, and prepare to start the second flower. This one will be different. You reach for the blue and white paint. The silence returns, but it is no longer the silence of hesitation. It is the silence of anticipation. You take one final deep breath and lower the brush. The brush hits the paper. Blue and white swirl together, not as separate colors, but as a single fluid motion. You do not stop to check the edges. You do not pause to measure the pressure. Your hand moves with a new, frantic speed, carving petals that are wider and more confident than the first. The rhythm takes over. You drag the brush, lift and pivot, creating a second flower that seems to bloom in real time. You add leaves, varying their size and angle with every quick flick of your wrist. The canvas is no longer a blank space. It is a field of motion. You stop critiquing the work. You stop looking for flaws. Each stroke builds upon the last, creating a chain of color that flows across the surface. You notice the paint drying as you move, leaving subtle raised textures that catch the light. You are not painting anymore. You are reacting to the paper. The brush feels like an extension of your own arm, light and precise. You sweep across the bottom of the page, adding more stems, more leaves, more life. You pause. The brush hovers, then descends for one last, deliberate motion. A tiny yellow dot lands in the center of the first flower. The work is finished. You set the brush down, the wood clattering softly against the table. The water in your jar is a murky, clouded swirl of every color you used. You look at your fingers stained with streaks of pink and green, and then back at the paper. It is no longer just a surface. It is a garden. You realize that beauty does not require complexity or perfection. It requires only the courage to make the first mark and the patience to refine the next. The tension in your shoulders dissolves. You breathe in the scent of damp paint and paper. You pick up the brush again, not to fix, but to create. There is still space for more.